right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood, joined alongside Chris Adamski. And Chris, the Battling Buccos, they're in the ninth, try to battle their way back. It's so fitting, by the way, that they are in D.C., you know, this weekend of the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary of the United States. But unfortunately, it was the Nationals who went into that final frame up 9-1. Like I said, the Pirates battled back a little bit.
He's one of the highest paid players on the team. He's on a long-term contract. And it's just the point now, you have 3 home runs in 3 innings. It just that they didn't really give his team a chance to win. That's the cliche for a starting pitcher, but today the Pirates didn't really have a chance to win because of the first 3 innings by Mitch Keller. Yeah,
and at the end of the day, too, I mean, Keller might give you 6 innings, but if he's giving up 5 earned runs, you know, that's not productive whatsoever. So it is a question mark what's going on with Keller. And you mentioned Paul Skeens, too. His timing of his pitches has looked a little off. I saw actually on Twitter the other day a side-by-side video of Skeens from last year compared to this year, and just his timing is off. He had the double tap on the glove last year, and the way his arm came around, it just felt like he might be releasing a little too quickly, like early this year, and maybe that's part of it. I know some people think it's the World Baseball Classic, but I do think his approach has been very different, so hopefully he can watch some of that game film from that first year and see what's going on there.
Yeah, I heard John Wayner talking about in the radio broadcast today that there's something about like the first 17 batters he faced, there was no ground balls. It was all in the air. Everything was either, you know, there were some outs, of course, some pop-ups or fly-outs, but of course the home runs and extra base hits, the triple doubles, things like that. So everything was up, but you don't want to see that, especially against a team. The Nationals are actually a really good hitting team, believe it or not, and the Pirates are a really good hitting team too.
Yeah, and 3rd in the league, believe it or not.
But the Pirates' kryptonite has been this against left-handed pitchers. Now they're 5-17 this season against lefties. That continued tonight. And when some of your better hitters are like a Brendan Lau and a Ryan O'Hearn, they're left-handed batters. They're struggling against the lefties, and that's been something that's been bugging them all year long for the Pirates.
Yeah, and it was so unfortunate in that 7th inning to see the bases loaded. Brian Reynolds steps up in the box. He did have 2 outs, but he strikes out. You know, he did have a home run tonight. He had a really solid June as well, you know, and it was unfortunate to see that kind of happen. But that also, it seems like in those situations lately, in the past, you know, I would say maybe June, when they come up in these late innings and get bases loaded, they just can't finish the job.
Yeah, that was the game the other day when they had twice the bases loaded, nobody out, and don't score. I mean, that's one thing. Bases loaded, 2 outs at least. You know, maybe you hit a ball hard and it's caught or a line drive or a fly out or something, and you don't score a run. But with nobody out, one of those will get somebody home. And they actually won that game, believe it or not. The game when they had, that was Sunday's game, the rain delayed game, where they had all those bases loaded situations. But again, I heard something. Joe Block, and I might get the number wrong. Pirates are like 1 for their last 18 with the bases loaded now. And again, that's way too many runners left on base. Their clutch hitting hasn't been good enough. It's because the raw numbers of the Pirates, their OPS, their powers on historic pace, their OPS is like 3rd in the league. They should be a lot better than they are. And it's just the clutch hitting, the bullpen to a point, and now the rotation between Keller and Skeens' struggles and everybody's, you know, Jared Jones, how he's played. Even now the starting rotation is kind of letting him down.
Yeah, 1-18 with bases loaded. Not a stat you want to hear about your baseball team. That is a fact. All right, guys, this is our Penn West University question of the night. Use your phone, tap the QR code. What is your go-to 4th of July food? We're having some fun tonight. Cheeseburger or hot dogs? Personally, I like a good cheeseburger.
I mean, I like cheeseburgers better, but I feel like hot dog does scream 4th of July. I mean, I don't know. Put a hot dog on the grill. But, I mean, a good burger on the grill is actually real good, too. So it's a tough choice. This is one of the toughest questions I think you've asked so far.
Yeah, we do have Nathan's hot dog eating contest tomorrow, too, obviously, 4th of July. So we'll be very much looking forward to that. I always hate those highlights, though. Whenever we have to air them, I'm like, I got to look away. I'm just like, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's a morbid curiosity, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of become something I just watch because it is the 4th of July, kind of like the Macy's parade on Thanksgiving or something like that. But you're right. It's an odd phenomenon for sure.
Odd sport, because they do call it a sport, believe it or not.
They call themselves athletes. That's the funniest. They're competitive eating athletes, they say.
Yeah.
That's going a little too far. Sport maybe I could deal with, maybe because it's a competition, but no, I'm not using the word athlete. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. All right, guys, with that, we're going to head to our first break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night from Andrew Filipponi. In the last 20 days, as Marilyn Valdez has the highest OPS in Major League Baseball, better than Ohtani, Schwarber, Alvarez, etc. The Pirates might have found their best right-handed power bat since Ramirez. So that is our tweet of the night from Pony. And you know what? It's a positive one, so we'll take it about these battling buccos, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's I guess he participated in the Futures game last year, so he's not coming out of nowhere. Maybe it's off my radar, as you might know, I cover the Steelers more regularly than the Pirates, but he seemed to come out of nowhere, and he hit the 2 home runs, I think, the first 4 games.
Yeah.
And it's just he's been the best hitter in baseball apparently over the past 3 weeks, let alone on the Pirates. And if he keeps doing this, I mean, the power he has, it seems like extra base hit every night he plays.
Yeah, which the Pirates clearly need. All right, with that, let's go out to the phone lines. We have Mark in Mars. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Cassidy. Hi, Chris. How are you tonight? Everything looks good. Hey, I was thinking today, I got a statistic that I saw that if the Pirates played only 7 innings, they'd have 58 wins by now, which speaks to their bullpen issues. And so I was wondering, in the playoffs and in the World Series, managers occasionally go to their starters who haven't pitched in a few days to relieve them in the late innings. Until the Pirates maybe find a reliever they can count on or work things out in the bullpen, why doesn't our manager go to a starter who is not scheduled to pitch for a couple days, and then in a game that they have the lead after 7 innings to try to win the game?
Yeah, Mark, I mean, I think it's a valid question. They did just make a pretty big move, though, moving Carmen Mlodzinski to the bullpen, who was obviously a starter and believed he should be a starter. In fact, it ruffled some feathers, and he was kind of upset about it and didn't play in the following game and sat out of that one. Now, he's since been with the team. But I do think that, gave us kind of a look at what that might look like if they decided to do something like that. I mean, a starter looks at that kind of a move as a demotion. So what starter would you technically demote? I mean, I think it would just change. It would change more than just the X's and O's of the game. It would change how the vibe is in the clubhouse. It would change a lot more, I think, by making a move like that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to would ever think of moving one of their starters they have right now necessarily, but Dotel has come up from the minors, who's been a starter in the minors, and one of their prospects who they projected as a starter in the future, and they used him in the bullpen. Hunter Barco started the season in the bullpen. He's a guy who is a starter in the minors, will be a starter. They see him as a starter eventually in the majors. So, and we, of course, Carmen Mlodzinski, like you mentioned, Cassidy, they've done that. So they have tried that to a point. I don't think you're ever going to see them go to put Paul Skeens in on 3 days rest or whatever in the bullpen. You're never going to do anything like that.
Right.
You guys are on routines, these starting pitchers, but I do think it's kind of like a no stone unturned philosophy right now. I guess John Morosi came out today, the Baseball National Media Insider, saying the Pirates are looking to trade for a reliever and willing to give up a lot to get a reliever. So they're willing to go that route. If you're willing to go that route, maybe one of the other starters in AAA, who, again, it's not what he's necessarily talking about, but the same idea. Mm-hmm. Try anything at this point, right? Because these leads you have, they're precious, and these wins are going to be too precious if you're going to try to make the playoffs late in the season. Yeah,
at this point, just throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. But it is tough trying to gauge how these relievers are going to do once they get up here to Pittsburgh. I mean, Isaac Mattson only gave up 1 home run all year between AAA and here with the Pirates, and and then tonight gave up 2 home runs. I think in total it was 3 or 4 runs total, but the 2 home runs in just over 1 inning. So, you know, it's really, really tough to gauge how these relievers are going to do once they get up here.
Yeah, there's a lot more unknowns, obviously, in AAA, and you would hope by now. I mean, they have had a lot of guys come up and through. Cam Sanders came up. I mean, some of the guys, they are veterans. Justin Lawrence pitched for the Nationals today. He was a big part of the Pirates bullpen to start the season, believe it or not, and since he's been cut now twice by 2 different teams. So that was either a misevaluation or he just lost it. And they've had a number of guys come up from AAA, I feel like, throughout the season, and as long as they're willing to try anything. But it just seems like there's not enough depth in the organization right now to fix what's going on in the bullpen. It seems like Ben Cherington's acknowledging that, if that's true, that he's out there looking to trade for a reliever before the deadline.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, speaking of former Pirates, how about Kutch landing a job, with the Braves? That was crazy. So it looks like Kutch is going to start in AAA in the Atlanta organization. So he's not through playing baseball yet. Kind of crazy.
It all comes full circle because the Pirates signed Marcell Ozuna to be the DH instead of McCutchen.
Right.
And now the Braves, who Ozuna had been with the Braves for several years before this year, and now the Braves apparently need some help, right-handed hitter DH type, and McCutchen's going back there. So
is there a world where they call each other up? They're like, hey, you want to swap these guys back? Is there a world where that happens?
Yeah, I mean, Ozuna's the point where it seems like he didn't start today against a left-handed pitcher, by the way, which is very notable that he was supposed to be your everyday DH, and then he became just against a platoon guy against lefties. And now today a lefty started, he didn't even start. So it seems like he's really fallen out of favor with the Pirates. I know he's making a lot of money. I don't know if they do it for McCutchen, but maybe, who knows? Maybe the Braves, a change of scenery, everybody going back home to where they're comfortable. Maybe it would work out. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be so crazy. Oh, my gosh, just full circle. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We have Steve in Cecil Township. Hi, Steve.
Evening. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
I'm beginning to think that maybe Donnie Kelly didn't pay attention to the advice that Jim Leland gave him. I don't understand his moves. I don't understand. It just doesn't feel like he has control of the team. I know the guys all like him, but that doesn't mean that they like him maybe because he gives in to them.
I mean, he's definitely a player's coach. I'm not going to argue that, but I don't know. I think, the players have bought into what he's about, and that means a lot. I do think maybe his in-game decisions have been interesting, but at the end of the day, the talent has to produce, and it has to show out. You sign these guys to big contracts, and they need to produce, and they haven't been living up to what they need to be. I mean, Mitch Keller, above a 5 ERA when he's been around as long as he has. I mean, at some point, you really got to question that, and that doesn't come back on the manager at that point.
Yeah, I don't feel like, I feel like this team has a pretty good chemistry. I feel like the guys like each other. I don't feel like they're giving up on games or anything like that. I feel like it's a good, pretty, hustle team. I don't think we've had any issues this season. Maybe like last year, there was an O'Neill Cruz running out ground, that type of thing. I don't think there's any of that necessarily. But yeah, if you want to question some of the decisions, I always say that too now. In the modern Major League Baseball, the general manager and the rest of the baseball staff with their analytics and the numbers people, I don't know how many decisions the managers are making anymore.
Exactly.
So I always wonder about that. But yes, there are certainly decisions you can question throughout the course of the season so far at Donnie Kelly. And he's only been doing this for, 14 months now, I guess, or early May. So he's still young on the job. But it is kind of a shame if this is the season the Pirates seem like offensively everything's come together and if this is their chance to make the playoffs. And right now it's not looking too great, honestly.
Yeah, I forget the percentage. I saw it recently, though, like what the managers have, the impact they have on a game. I mean, it's dropped significantly ever since, like you said, analytics and all of that have gotten involved. But all right, guys, with that, we're going to head to our last break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600 if you want to talk some Buccos ball. We also had the Penguins wrap up prospect camp this week with a tournament today. That was pretty fun to watch. We'll talk more about that and the Pirates right after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood, alongside Chris Adamski. And Chris, I'm going to try to squeeze one more caller in here before we have to go. We have Bill in Shippenville. Hi, Bill. All right, I will right
Yes,
now.
I'd like to, I've been a fan since 1948, and the days of Rosie Rosewell, the Gunners' first year, Ralph Kiner, Wally Westlake. And I don't recall that I've ever seen the relievers this bad. And now the starters are starting to chime in. So looks like they're going to be in real trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Bill, I echo your sentiment a little bit, like we've talked about pretty much all night tonight. I mean, the pitching is the issue, which is so crazy, Chris, because this time last year, it was the complete opposite. We kept screaming, we need run support for Paul Skeens. The guys need to start hitting the ball and scoring runs. What is going on? Now they went out, they got some guys, they got Brandon Lau, they got guys in here who are doing that. They're providing that run support, and now the pitching is taking a turn. Like, who would have thought that we'd be sitting here on July 4th weekend with this narrative when it came to Bucko ball? It's crazy.
It is, because it's really, because the Pirates, I know it's crazy to even talk about. Like, I have to keep double checking it to make sure I'm like runs scored, OPS, like all these, the slugging percent. They are up in the top home runs. They're in the top 2 or 3 in some of these categories, top 5. They have one of the, it's unarguable, one of the best offenses in baseball, which I never would have dreamed would have happened last year, how bad they were. They were one of the worst, if not the worst in baseball last year. And only the Pirates could have that great pitching staff last year, the great hitting this year, and it seemingly now, unless something changes, might not make the playoffs either year because they couldn't put the two together for one time. It's amazing how cursed they are sometimes.
I know. I mean, there was a solid 2 months there too where we really felt confident this was a playoff contending team. Now we're standing here and we're like, I don't know. They're still sitting around 500, still splitting series. You know, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
They need to go on a run. That's all they do. They got to go on a run and win 10 out of 12 or 6 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, easier said than done, I will say. All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this 4th of July weekend. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you have a very healthy, happy, and safe 4th of July. I will see you back here tomorrow night, same place, same time.